Yo, what is up guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So in this one I wanted to have a little bit of real talk and kind of address something that apparently a lot of people are talking about. And it does affect me because I am a content creator and you just never know what the future is going to hold. And oh, by the way, for those of you guys that always wanted to see me use a Spitfire, well, here you go. Believe it or not, this was actually the first game that I used it on yesterday, and I got this. So I hope you enjoy that. But anyway, let's get on to the topic of discussion here, and that is, well, am I wasting my time with YouTube? Now, as you guys know, because I'm sure you guys are fans of a whole lot of other people here besides me, that's for damn sure, but you basically watch videos. I mean, there's so many people on the platform that have been here for a long time and have either stopped after a while because they really because what YouTube is turning into is like super PG, super G rated. I mean, it's getting to a point now where you can't really, depending on the kind of content that you create, or just the kind of YouTuber you are, or just even the kind of person you are to an extent, it's like you can't even fully be yourself. You have to, I mean, if you, at this point it's getting to the point to where if you badmouth somebody too much or whatnot, it's like you can get a big strike, or your channel can get shut down and all that kind of stuff. Now, as far as my channel is concerned, none of that really affects me all that much, if at all, because my stuff is not monetized. So therefore, I can completely be free and do pretty much everything that I have been doing. So the lack of monetization on one hand is a complete blessing, obviously. And in case some of you happen to wonder when in the world will my channel be monetized, even though there has been tremendous amount of growth and consistency lately on the channel, that isn't going to happen anytime soon. It's gonna still be a while. So God knows, YouTube might change for the better by the time I decide to even go that route, or whenever I decide to at least think about going that route. But until then, everything is just fine and dandy and business as usual here with me on YouTube. And I don't mean business as usual as in I'm making money, because I don't make a damn cent off of doing this. This is basically a pure passion, hobby, project thing or whatnot. And the thing is, as you guys know, if you watched me for a while, you know that every so often I really go, how do I put this? I really go a little bit unorthodox with my commentary. Sometimes I can get very graphic. Sometimes I can be really funny. Sometimes I can be really serious. Sometimes it's because it could be a mixture of things. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you may not know if I'm serious or not. But for those of you guys that have been with me long enough, I'm sure you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell whenever I'm trying to be funny or whenever I'm trying to be serious. At least I hope. At least I hope I make it at least at least I'm able to make it to a point to where you can at least tell. But for the most part, you can definitely tell. But like for instance with this game, as you guys know, I've definitely I've definitely chewed Treyarch out a few times here and there. Well, I don't know if chewed out is the right word, because I wasn't like yelling and screaming or whatnot. But let's just say I was disagreeing. That's for damn sure. And I had some colorful words to use in really unique ways in order to sound a little bit more comical and all that kind of stuff. But long story short, I was using my own unique way to speak my mind. And if I was monetized and if I had a hell of a lot more people, I seriously doubt that video would be able to exist, at least with monetization. So there's a lot of people that are making a living off of this. Now, with me, I think, in my mind at least, okay, and the way that I see this going forward is, even if I ever do get to a point to where I am huge on YouTube, and to a point to where I wouldn't even have to work and just focus on this in order to make a living and to satisfy my personal and financial goals. Even with that being said, to be honest, I would still work, because number one, I'm in a position now, hopefully it'll stay this way, I'm in a position to where I have something unique going on with a hell of a lot more potential for a lot more in the future in my job, and for the first time in my life. So it's amazing. So number one, I would always work because of that, because there's something about that. And number two, I like to stay, it keeps me balanced, because I think a lot of people can kind of lose themselves in this whole YouTube thing to a point to where they kind of like, I'm not saying this happens to everybody, because sure as hell doesn't, but some people can definitely lose themselves to this thing, and they can really become something that they were always against. You know what I mean? I don't want that to ever happen to me. And at the same time, like I said, it keeps me balanced. It keeps me focused. It keeps me in reality, so to speak. And at the same time, it's like, you know, for me personally, I like the variety on top of that. But again, the question is, like, if I can't be myself on this platform in the future, would I be wasting my time? As of right now, it's not a waste of time. Definitely not, because I absolutely love it. And again, I'm not monetized, so it doesn't really affect me in terms of, you know, pretty much what I can, the kind of commentaries I want to make or whatnot. So, but in the future, well, that really is the question of the day in terms of the future. It all depends on how YouTube continues to quote unquote evolve or de-evolve in the future. So hopefully they'll change for the better, and we can go back to how YouTube used to be. You just never know. I know that it's kind of doubtful, especially in the direction YouTube has been heading. But again, you just never know, and you can't lose the faith that quickly. At least not all the time. So, but yeah, it is a really interesting thing. And the thing is, a lot of people are also moving on to Twitch. Guys that have been with YouTube forever don't like the way the platform is going, and even though they could make or did make a living off of this, they ended up just moving on to Twitch, and I sure as hell don't blame them. And if it ever got to that point with me, I would probably be doing Twitch, and I would have at least full time, because I've had a Twitch for a while, but because of the lack of face cam, it really there's hardly anybody that watches my channel, maybe one or two at the most in terms of Twitch, because of the lack of face cam. So in the future that will happen, and like I said, I have an idea for that, and I'm not going to spoil it. But until then, I'm just going to be hanging around here and doing my thing on here as I usually do. So, but I just thought I'd have a little bit of an episode of real talk with you guys, because I'm sure that even other guys that are small like me are kind of thinking about that in the back of their heads. But we're still so far from even making sense to become monetized that we're not even worried about it as of now. We're just kind of playing it by ear. But at the same time, at least from my perspective, it is something that does come in the back of my mind, because I love doing this, and you never know what the future will hold. So I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay for what it was. Let me know down in the comments section your opinions on this, and what you guys think, and who else you guys watch that pretty much doesn't do it anymore and has moved on. But anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and as always, if you enjoyed it, let me know, and if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. I'll catch you guys on the next one.